Hello, and my name is Joshua Reynolds. This is for Ed 200 and over W.E.B. Du Bois. Edward Burghardt Du Bois, also better known as W.E. Du Bois, was born on February 23, 1868 in Great Barrington, Massachusetts, and died August 27, 1963 in Ghana. In his early years, he considered himself a mulatto and attended school with whites and was enthusiastically supported in his academic studies by his teachers. Du Bois was able to attend schools with white children and was even supported by the teachers as he was half white and half black. Because of this, in his early years, he did not have to face the horrors of racism. He was able to attend Fisk University in Tennessee. This is where he first felt the effects of racism in the country and the effects of the Jim Crow laws. He then attended Harvard and became the first African American to earn a doctorate degree from Harvard. Du Bois also helped form the NAACP. As far as his philosophy goes, he falls into a pragmatist view, and with his ideas, the main one that he coined was actually called double consciousness. Now, the idea of double consciousness is that of an individual whose identity is divided into several facets. Du Bois explained it in these words: It is a particular sensation, this double consciousness, the sense of always looking at oneself through the eyes of others, of measuring one's soul by the tape of a world that looks on in amused contempt and pity. One ever feels his two-ness, an American and Negro, two souls, two thoughts, two reconciled strivings, two warning ideals in one dark body whose dogged strength alone keeps it from being torn asunder. It is the ability to have these two identities and seeing yourself through these different identities. This idea is hard to grasp if you're not a member of a minority or a member of the majority. If you are a member of minorities, such as being an African American, this helps out quite a bit, and you actually have these ideas. This was not a hindrance. This should not be viewed as a hindrance, but should be viewed as an advantage. This is a way to be able to have two different perspectives that can help change the world. It is these two identities that help them forge forward, looking at themselves through the eyes of others. This type of self-evaluation helps them be able to better themselves in a way that we could only dream of achieving. Du Bois, as he can be considered, is a pragmatist. His thoughts followed the claim that the ideology or proposition is true if it works satisfactorily. That is, meaning the proposition is found to be practical, practical consequences of accepting it, and that unpractical ideas are to be rejected. He did reject the impractical ideas and tried to change the country for the better. He worked to gain equality for all people, did not follow the ideals that race was a reason for being persecuted. He did, however, have the idea of the talented tenth. Now, the talented tenth is the idea that you must first deal with developing the best of the race, that you may guide the mass away from the contamination and death of the worst. By focusing on those that can lead you, are more likely to give the entire society the opportunity to grow and develop. You can avoid the worst by this training. We are better able to avoid pitfalls of the uneducated by having the best at hand to help. There is also a problem of the long and unending racism and degradation of the black people. Can we live knowing what has been done to this kind-hearted people? All this makes it hard to find the talented tenth to lead, but as far as I see it, to obtain the talented tenth, you need to train the 90th as well. You need the whole society to find those that can rise above, and as you need as many as are able to build themselves into this people, the more you study, the more that one can become a leader and better themselves. The greater impact you can have. This is what Du Bois was trying to teach. All cannot go to college, but some men must. Every isolated group or nation must have its yeast. So, as they rise, they help all expand, just as a little yeast helps keep an entire loaf of bread expanding and growing. As long as people stay active, they can grow. The moment they decide to stop, that is when society falls. Though Du Bois had many ideas and did a good amount to further the African American, his most important impact that can be seen is that as long as there is racism or overprivileged class that suppresses the ideals, hope, and dreams of others, Du Bois has a spot. It can be seen that Du Bois was a thinker for the underprivileged. As he went throughout his life, his ideas changed and cultivated to the man that we know as W.E.B. Du Bois.